Hi, I'm Alexander, and today we'll take a look at three products: TRI x HBB KAI IEM, kbear Storm IEM, and kbear CHORD cable. All three products were kindly provided by kbear in exchange for my honest review. As always, I'm not paid to say anything in particular about the products, and all thoughts and opinions in today's episode are my own. We will start today's episode with TRI x HBB KAI. For those who doesn't know, TRI Audio is a premium sub-brand of kbear. KAI is a collaboration IEM between TRI and Hawaiian Bad Boy, and it's tuned according to the curve suggested by HBB. It features a 9.8mm third-generation diamond-like carbon or DLC dynamic driver, aviation-grade aluminum alloy shells, and detachable cable. The headphones come in a small carton box. On the front of the box there's an IEM name and TRI and HBB logos. On the back of the box there's a list of technical specifications. In the box we have IEMs, detachable 0.78mm 2-pin silver-plated cable, 3 pairs of wide-bore silicone ear tips, 3 pairs of narrow-bore silicone ear tips, cleaning brush, cleaning cloth, wonderful leatherette carrying case, and a user manual. Impedance of this IEM is 36 ohms and the sensitivity is 114 dB. KAI has a quite distinctive look with its gold and blue accents. The shells are made from aviation-grade aluminum, they are highly polished and have a delicate surface. The gold finish is shiny. The shells consist of 2 parts which, as far as I can tell, are glued to each other. The faceplate is 2/3 blue and 1/3 gold. There's a TRI logo on the blue part of the faceplate and the HBB logo and model name on the gold part of the faceplate. There are also 2 vent holes, one on the inner part of the shells near the nozzle and the other one close to the connector socket. The nozzles are metal too, they're average in length and thickness. There is a metal mesh at the end of each nozzle and a small lip that helps with ear tips retainment. Overall, I like the build quality of this IEM, and I must admit, the gold and blue combination looks marvelous. Now a couple of words about fit and comfort. The shells are medium in size and have an ergonomic shape. The shells are made from metal, but there's no sharp edges here, which is good, and when inserted in the ear, they have a very natural feel. The nozzles are average in length, the fit is shallow, and it took me some time to find a good fit and a good seal with stock ear tips. I've been using this pair for extended periods of time and the IEMs are comfortable. The cable that comes with this IEM is nice. It's 1.2 meters long silver-plated cable with a straight 3.5mm on one end and 2 0.78mm 2-pin connectors on the other ends. The connectors have a tiny blue and red dots located on the plastic base of the connector to indicate the channel. They are really hard to see and in my opinion that's not the best placement. The cable has a metal Y-splitter and soft pre-molded ear hooks, but there is no chin slider. The cable is also soft and low in microphonics and it does its job just fine. Now let's talk about the sound. Please note that all sound impressions that I'm sharing on my channel are completely subjective, so please take them with a grain of salt. All tests in my review have been performed using the stock silicone ear tips. KAI is fairly easy to drive and I had no issues driving this pair from my Samsung Galaxy S10 that was able to bring this pair to my comfort levels of volume with some additional headroom. KAI has a U-shaped sound signature, warm tonality, a good amount of bass and smooth yet detailed treble. The bass on this pair is surprisingly good and it offers a solid bass response for most genres. Sub-bass got a good extension, authority and rumble. The mid-bass has got a good weight, yet the sub-bass is still more dominant on this pair. Details are average, but the bass is fast, well controlled and quite resolving for a pair of budget IEMs. The mid-range on KAI is slightly recessed, yet it still sounds natural and transparent. The bass bleeds into mids, making lower mids slightly thick and warm. Upper mids are well defined, detailed, and I especially liked how female vocals sounded on this pair. Vocals and instruments have a natural timbre and sit well in the mix. Overall, despite being a bit recessed, the mid-range doesn't sound too distant, which is a plus. The treble on KAI is smooth, laid back and non-fatiguing at all. I wouldn't call it wild or dark, as it still has a nice amount of sparkle, but treble heads won't appreciate this tuning for sure. At the same time, the treble perfectly complements the tuning of this IEM and works really well with heavy sub-bass, perfectly balancing the overall sound presentation. The soundstage width is above average, music mostly sounds out of your head, and the presentation is spacious. Depth of soundstage is average as well. Instrument separation totally corresponds to the price bracket, imaging is good, and I can easily locate everything within my music. Resolution is decent, but KAI is definitely not the most detailed IEM in this price bracket. Let's summarize. In my opinion, TRI X HBB KAI is a very solid performer. It has got an engaging and fun sound signature and good technical abilities for its price. Pros: good design and build, comfortable fit and good passive isolation, punchy and well-rounded bass with a good sub-bass extension, organic and warm tonality, relaxed treble and a stylish carrying case. Cons: treble can be a deal-breaker for some people and detail retrieval is average. Overall, KAI is a good all-rounder IEM that has an organic and warm tonality. It's well built, it has got a shiny design, which though can be a deal-breaker if gold-blue is not your combination, and it comes with a good amount of accessories. While it's not the most detailed pair in its price bracket, its punchy bass and relaxed treble makes it a good daily driver for a pure enjoyment of music. Alright, now let's see our second sample for today. kbear Storm is an ultra-budget yet interesting IEM with a V-shaped tuning. It features a 10mm dynamic driver with a composite diaphragm, light plastic shells and detachable cable. The headphones come in a small carton box. On the front of the box there's an illustration of IEM, on the back of the box there's a list of technical specifications. In the box we have kbear Storm IEM, detachable 0.78mm cable, 3 pairs of wide-bore silicone ear tips, 3 pairs of narrow-bore silicone ear tips and a user manual. Impedance of IEM is 32 ohms, sensitivity is 108 dB. Storm comes in 3 colors: purple, blue, purple and black. My sample is a black one, which I would call a dark gray. On all 3 color variants, the plastic is transparent to some degree so you can see the driver configuration. The shells are light and are surprisingly ergonomic. The nozzles are made from metal, they are on the longer side and quite thick. There's a metal mesh at the end of the nozzle and a small lip that helps with ear tips retainment. Overall, for a pair of ultra-budget IEMs, the build is okay. Now a couple words about fit and comfort. The shells are medium in size and sit well in the ear. The nozzles are on the longer side and in my case it was easy to achieve a good fit and seal with the stock ear tips. The IEM is light and quite comfortable for long listening sessions. My sample arrived with the inline microphone cable, but there's also a non-mic version available as well. The cable that comes with this IEM is okay, it's 1.2 meters long, 4-core cable with an angled 3.5mm connector on one end and 2 0.78mm 2-pin connectors on the other end. The channel markings on the connectors are hard to see. The cable has no Y-splitter and it has quite aggressively pre-molded ear hooks, but overall the cable is low in microphonics and it does its job just fine, and that's all we should be asking at this price tag. Now let's talk about the sound. Storm is also fairly easy to drive and I had no issues driving this pair from my Samsung Galaxy S10 that was able to bring this pair to my comfort level of volume with some additional headroom. Storm has a V-shaped sound signature with a warm tonality, strong emphasis on low end, laid-back presentation and smooth treble. The bass on this pair is surprisingly good and it offers a solid bass response for most genres. Details are average, but for its price tag I'd say the bass is quite resolving. Sub-bass and mid-bass work well together, offering a strong emphasis on low end, hence making it an interesting pair for bass heads to consider. The mid-range is recessed, what we should be expecting from a V-shaped tuning. The bass bleeds into mids, making lower mids thick and quite warm, though the recession doesn't work in favor of vocals. Upper mids are more energetic than lower mids, they are better defined, making female vocals sound more natural and organic on this pair. For me personally, the mids just don't have enough clarity and detail. But this is an ultra-budget IEM that was designed for a different purpose, so we should keep that in mind. The treble on Storm is smooth and laid back, and yet it doesn't sound unnatural. It's non-fatiguing and lacks sparkle and air, but its nature really helps during long listening sessions, especially when the recordings are not mixed very well. At the same time, the treble complements the warm V-shaped tuning of this IEM, and I'm sure this tuning will make a lot of treble-sensitive people happy. The soundstage width is below average and music mostly sounds in your head. The depth of soundstage is average, but as this is an ultra-budget IEM, we shouldn't expect any miracles in this section. Instrument separation totally corresponds to the price bracket, imaging is good, nothing is out of place, which is all that we should be asking at this price tag. Let's summarize. In my opinion, kbear Storm is a very solid pair of ultra-budget IEMs. It has got an engaging and fun sound signature and excellent technical abilities for its price. Pros: IEMs are affordable, the shots are light and comfort is great, warm tonality and fun with shaped sound signature, deep and well-rounded bass response, and overall excellent performance per dollar. Cons: honestly, at this price point, I don't think this IEM has any real cons. However, I will mention that mid-range on Storm lacks clarity and definition, soundstage size and depth is below average, and technical performance is average. Despite a few cons, I think Storm is a good choice if you need a light and inexpensive daily driver with a lot of bass slam, fun sound signature, and a good price-to-performance ratio. And finally, let's check out the cable that kbear has sent to me. Chord is a 6N graphene plus 4N OFC silver-plated cable that is mixedly braided. The cable is available in 3 variations: 2-pin, TFZ, and MMCX. Each variation also has 3 options: 2.5mm balanced connector, 3.5mm single-ended connector, and 4.4 pentacon. The sample in my review is 2-pin terminating into 3.5mm connector. The cable comes in a plain simple packaging and I do appreciate it. The cable is well built, it's soft and quite flexible too. On one end it has got a straight 3.5mm connector with glossy silver finish. On the other end it has got 2 0.78mm 2-pin connectors, also with a glossy silver finish. Left and right connectors have a clear blue-red dots channel indication on the outside. Connectors on both ends are gold-plated. The pre-molded ear hooks are quite flexible too. There is a metal white splitter, also in glossy silver finish, and a metal chin slider. The only thing to mention is that my cable had quite a strong plastic smell out of the box, which disappeared a few days later. Now a couple words about ergonomics. I use this cable with a variety of my IEMs and I think Chord cable complemented a lot of pairs really well, both comfort and design-wise. The soft pre-molded ear hooks add a lot of flexibility to IEM placement in your ear, and despite being a bit on a heavier side, which I bet a lot of people will appreciate, the cable still feels comfortable. In addition, it's really low in microphonics, which is a plus too. I wouldn't comment much regarding the sound quality and changes in sound, because personally for myself the replacement cable should serve 3 main purposes: improve comfort, increase durability, and have good connectors installed. In this regard, kbear Chord definitely checks all the 3 boxes. Let's summarize. Chord is surprisingly well-built cable for its price, especially taking into consideration it's frequently on sale too. It's quite thick, has a tidy braid, looks great and complements a lot of IEMs. In addition, the cable feels great too and it has improved comfort for a number of my IEMs. Overall, it's hard to overlook the design and build of Chord cable, and I can easily recommend it to anyone looking for a good replacement cable at a reasonable price, especially if you are new to IEM cables. Alright guys, that's all from me for today and I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to my channel and click the bell icon to receive new video updates. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.